Okay, here I am again, explaining to you about your task. You have a lot of tasks today or this week. And also, we discuss about uh, bankruptcy. Bankruptcy again, I mean. All right, so this is your first task. Instructions: complete these definitions of common word partnerships with the verbs in the box. So I explained most of these words. So I think you can find the correct ones. If you watch the first video, you can have a clue or tips or maybe uh, the correct definitions exactly the same with this. So you must watch the first video and of course this video in order for you to not miss anything here, because for your previous work, so many tasks that you were not done, okay, or you didn't do. Here, yeah, generate, liquidate, manage, modify, recover, refinance, restructure, and settle. I gave these words already on my first or previous video. Okay, so you must analyze these definitions here and find the words here to fill in the blanks here. All right. Third or second task here, you have to match 1 to 6, A to F to make common word partnerships, often used to talk about loan modifications. So restructure. What are you going to restructure? So you must choose from here A to F. Make, discuss, generate, cut, or manage. So these words are common. So what you are going to do is to analyze carefully to connect and so that you will be able to find the word partnerships here. Okay, next, let's talk about language, making suggestions and recommendations. So here are common phrases in making suggestions and recommendations. So there are examples here. Why don't we? So you are suggesting, take a look at the figures. I would like to recommend an external advisor to come and talk to you. So you could use this one to recommend. Right. We could arrange a meeting within a few days. So also we are using this for suggestions and recommendations. And question, would you be willing to consider restructuring the company? So this would also use for making suggestions and recommendations. I would suggest liquidating assets. Suggestions. And what about selling off some buildings? So these are phrases that you need to use or yeah, usually use for making suggestions and recommendations for English for banking and finance. Now, your next task is to match 1 to 5 to A to E to make sentences for suggestions and recommendations. Once again, you need to think carefully so that you can get the first the first and the second half of these sentences. Why don't we? For making suggestions and recommendations. Why don't we? You need to find A, B, C, D, E here. All right? So this is your next task. Next, here, you need to read a letter Mr. Mayer wrote to Mr. Kowalski after their conversation and answer these questions. First question is, what does default on a loan mean? What is a non-performing loan? What does a turnaround professional do? What are some ways to modify a loan? So these words here, these questions here, part of the questions here, I gave already for to my first video. So once again, I would like to tell you not to miss watching the first video and this video. Okay. So this is the letter to Mr. Kowalski. Okay. And you're going to answer this question. So you have to read by yourself. Read carefully, and after reading, or maybe not one time or once, you need to read this more and more so that you will understand, or you can understand all of this. And also you can also use, of course, you have your smartphone. You can use your smartphone for translation or any other, especially my best friend, Mr. Google. Yeah. All right. Next task, again, you need to read this reading or about the letter, and then you are going to read you are going to match the underlined phrases 1 to 6. So there are 6 phrases here. First one, defaulting on your loan, non-performing loan, turn around professional, streamline some of your process, extending the term, and stay in business. So you have to match this from here to here. I mean, yeah, read the 8 or read the letter in 8 again. This one, the letter, and match the underlined phrases 1 to 6 here, and you have to match it to A to F here. Simplify the way things are done in a company. So what is that? Okay, you have to think and answer correctly. Next. Now let's talk about bankruptcy. What does it mean? So when you have worries or debt to pay, financial crisis, you have loss, you don't have any profit, so you can declare for bankruptcy. So this is the legal process, as what I've told you uh, on the first video. Okay, and I will talk about this more. So you can see here the picture. Yeah, so you need a court order to declare bankruptcy. Okay, bankruptcy. Once everything has been done to save a company and the company still cannot meet its obligations, it will most likely be necessary to declare bankruptcy. So this is a legal proceeding in which the company is forced to liquidate its assets, so selling of assets to get cash, to pay off its creditors, and will be relieved from any further liability. There are different forms of bankruptcy, and these also vary from country to country. So every country has its different regulations, rules. It depends on their law on financial aspects. In some cases, businesses are completely liquidated and everything is sold to pay the debts. And in others, the company must be reorganized and pay a percentage of their debts, but has the chance to start again. So that's all about bankruptcy. Let's move on. So again, you have another reading comprehension. So Fred Brown, a member of the board of Pools and Spas Limited, has to explain a difficult situation to the managers in his company. Complete the explanation he is preparing for his colleagues with the words in the box. So as I've said, or last week or the first video, I also explained these words: assets, bankruptcy, creditors, debts, loans, machinery, obligations, repayments. So you have to analyze again carefully and use these words to fill in the blanks 1 to 8. Okay? So this is your more tasks. This is the last week of our online learning. So you need to do a lot. Sorry for that. So let's move to language. So past simple and present perfect. So I know you have studied this for a long time. So just to review again. So we use past simple to talk about finished actions or situations in the past. So 2 years ago, we lost. So verb from present form changed into past simple. Okay. We also use present perfect to talk about actions which have not finished or which happened in the past and have an effect on the present situation. So here, now that the bankruptcy proceedings have begun, we no longer have to keep up our repayments. So you have to analyze, read the sentences carefully, and you can decide if this is past simple or present perfect. Okay? So again, you have an idea, you have knowledge about these already, past simple and present perfect. So you have to figure it out by yourself. Okay? So you have also a review for from this unit 7, I mean, sorry. So you have to do this review in order for you to prepare for your final exam. So you have here to match 1 to 8 to A to H to make sentences. So when companies cannot meet, so you have to choose from A to H or H. Okay? They had to liquidate. What are you going to liquidate? We discussed it already. Maybe assets to pay their creditors. That's the bonus one, number 2. Yeah? If you're watching this, you can get 1 point already. So another review is you have to use the prompts to write second conditional sentences about the corporate banking. So this is our previous lesson last week. So my credit line extend to 80,000 euros. I could buy more inventory. So you have to use second conditional if, and you have to answer this one. Okay? And then you have to complete using the present perfect, past simple, or second conditional form of the verbs in the brackets here. Okay? So this is all about our lesson this week. I could not explain to you more here because this is a review. You have to do it yourself. And of course, you have to do it by yourself. Don't copy. Yeah? And once again, thank you for watching this video.